since you left yesterday, whether any juror has discussed this case, read, heard, or seen anything about this case, or had any contact with this case outside of court. If you have, would you raise your hand? And I see no hands raised, and I find the jury remains indifferent. And folks, I want to advise you that yesterday we had a technical glitch, as I understand it, with regard to the news reporting of this case and broadcast or filming of this case, and that due to an equipment malfunction, some of you, or the back of your heads, were depicted on a film. It's because the camera zooming in on some chart or graph that was shown, or diagram that was shown yesterday, was too low. Yesterday afternoon, when that occurred, I ordered cameras to be shut off in this courtroom, and there was no further. We've had a hearing this morning regarding this issue, and I'm satisfied, at least for the moment, that we've resolved the issue that arose yesterday. But I think, in fairness, you ought to be aware that that did occur, and that steps have been taken to ensure it does not happen again. If it does happen again, that's the end of any filming of this trial. Now, having said that, we heard some testimony yesterday from witnesses who gave certain descriptions, and I anticipate today and through the course trial we may hear from other witnesses who observed certain things, or will testify that they made observations, and then will provide that testimony regarding what it was that they saw, or who it was that they saw, or a description of individuals that they saw. And I want to give you an instruction regarding that sort of testimony, which we call either identification or description testimony, relating to the defendant or relating to others alleged to have had some involvement in the alleged crime. Where a witness has identified or described a person, the defendant or another, as the person who committed or participated in the alleged crimes, you should examine that identification or description testimony with care. As with any witness, you must determine the credibility of the witness. That is, do you believe the witness is being honest? And even if you're convinced the witness believes his or her identification or description is correct, you must also consider the possibility that a witness may have made a mistake in identification or description. A witness may honestly believe that he or she saw a person, but perceive and remember the event inaccurately. And you must decide whether a witness's identification or description is not only truthful, but accurate. And people have the ability to recognize others that they've seen and do accurately identify them or describe them at a later time. But research and experience have shown that people sometimes make mistakes in identification. The mind does not work like a video recorder. A person cannot just replay a mental recording to remember what happened. Memory and perception are much more complicated. Generally, memory is most accurate right after the event and begins to fade soon thereafter. And many factors occurring while a witness is observing an event may affect the witness's ability to make an accurate identification or provide an accurate description. Other factors occurring after observing the event may also affect the witness's memory of that event and may alter that memory without the witness even realizing that his or her memory has been affected. Later in the trial, I will discuss in my final instructions in more detail the factors that you should consider in determining whether any witness's identification or description is accurate. Ultimately, you must determine whether or not the Commonwealth has proved the charges, including the identity of the person who committed the crime, beyond a reasonable doubt. So that instruction will apply, and you should keep that in mind as to any witnesses who provide either identifying testimony or description testimony relating to observations of the crime itself. With that instruction now given, let us turn to the next witness. Commonwealth.
Your Honor, the Commonwealth calls Aquilino Freire.
Stop here, face the court, raise your right hand.
Sir, do you solemnly swear that testimony you should give this court and jury
Yes.
in the issue now pending between the Commonwealth and the defendant at the bar shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Kindly follow the officer to the stand.
Watch the house. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm told that this witness, Mr. Freire, his native language is other than English. Although Mr. Freire speaks English and understands English to some extent, it may be helpful that he be assisted during the course of his testimony by an interpreter, and so he is assisted now by a court-certified interpreter, and there's nothing unusual about that. We do that quite often in our courts, and you're not to draw any inference from the fact that Mr. Freire may require or request the assistance of an interpreter in his native language. Mr. Hagan.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, sir.
Bom dia, senhor.
Good morning.
Would you please introduce yourself to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury and spell both your first and last name, please?
Vou poder apresentar-me nos membros do júri, senhores e senhoras, e falar o primeiro nome e o último nome, soletra o primeiro nome e soletra o último nome.
First name Aquilino, Aquilino. Last name Freire, Freire.
How old are you, sir?
30,
Where were you born?
Cape Verde,
What part of Cape Verde?
prior.
Prior?
Yeah, capital, yeah.
And how long did you live in Cape Verde before coming to the United States?
22 years.
During that 22 years, Mr. Freire, did you receive education? Did you graduate from high school?
Yes.
And how far did you go after high school?
12.
12th grade.
Yes.
Did you have any jobs in Cape Verde before you came to the United States?
Yes.
What type of jobs?
Painting, and then I went to the army. Fucking
How long were you in the Cape Verdean Army, sir?
about 1 year, some change.
About 4 years?
1 year and
1
some
year.
change. Yeah.
What year was it, if you recall, that you came to the United States, sir?
So, what year?
What year?
2009.
2009. When you came to the United States in 2009, what part of the United States did you come to?
Boston.
And in the city of Boston, when you came in 2009, was there a particular part of Boston that you started living in?
Yes.
Where was that, sir?
Dorchester.
When you came in 2009 and started living in Dorchester, Mr. Freire, did you start working?
Yes.
Where did you work, or what types of jobs did you have over the next few years?
First job I had, it was on the ABM. It was a maintenance on the State Street.
Maintenance at State Street?
Yeah.
And how long did you have that job?
How long I worked there for?
Yes.
About like a year or something.
What other jobs did you have when you were living in Dorchester from 2009 on?
From 2009 to now.
Yes.
I work at Lexus dealer.
Lexus dealer?
Yeah.
That's Lexus, the car, correct?
Yes. I work for cable company. for Comcast. As a
Comcast?
Yeah, for as a contractor, yes.
And how about now, sir? How are you employed now? What types of jobs do you do?
I stopped doing Lyft about 2 weeks ago because my car got crashed and went total loss.
So you were a Lyft driver prior to that?
Yes.
And just so, for those who may not know, is Lyft one of those ride-sharing companies similar to Uber?
Yes.
And how long were you a Lyft driver?
But I started last year on February.
And what about other odd jobs or jobs that you've done recently, sir?
Right now,
Yes.
I do a paint, security camera. Yeah.
So you do security work and painting now, sir?
Yes.
Do you still...
No,
without
not
giving-
security. Security camera.
Security camera work?
Yes.
And without giving the address, do you still live in the Boston area, sir?
Yes, Dorchester. Yeah.
Sir, do you have any children?
Yes, I have two.
How old are they?
One is 9. The other one is 6.
And are you married or do you live with a significant other?
I'm not married. Yeah.
And your children, boys or girls?
2 girls.
2 girls. So I'm going to call your attention now to the year 2012, the summer of 2012. Were you still living in Dorchester at that point?
Yes.
Where exactly in Dorchester were you living? What street?
When
In 2012.
Draper Street.
Draper Street. Did you have relationships, friendships with other people who were relatively recent immigrants from Cape Verde?
What do you mean by that? If I have friends from Cape Verde?
In that time, did you have a lot of friends from Cape Verde?
Yes, yes,
And were there a lot of Cape Verdeans who lived in that area of Dorchester?
yes.
So I'm calling your attention now to an individual by the name of Daniel D'Abreu. Did you know Daniel D'Abreu?
Yes, I know Daniel.
So I'm just going to place exhibit number 2 on the screen. Do you recognize the person depicted in that photograph?
Yes.
Who do you recognize that to be?
At the place he took the picture?
No, who is that? On the,
Oh, Daniel.
And tell us, how did you know Daniel in 2012?
I met him here through a friend.
You met him in the United States through a friend?
Yeah.
Did you develop a friendship with Daniel in 2012?
Yes.
And how frequently would you see him?
I want to say almost every week because it was like I'm always working. So on the weekend, like we go out or we just,
So you said someone was working a lot of hours. Was that Danny?
yeah.
Do you know, did you have a certain night off that he would go out and you would have a chance to see him?
Yeah, sometimes on like Sundays, yes.
So I'm going to call your attention now to a specific date, being Sunday, July 15th, the year 2012. Do you recall that date, sir?
Yes.
I'm calling your attention now to the late afternoon into the evening. What were you doing at that point?
Before we went out,
Yes.
I was home. I was just home, and then around 6 o'clock, I believe, I just went to this cookout.
A cookout?
Yes.
Who was hosting the cookout, sir?
My girlfriend brother. It was my girlfriend brother birthday.
It was your girlfriend's brother's birthday. Was the cookout in Dorchester a short distance from your house?
It's about like 3 minutes away from my house.
And did you decide to go to the cookout?
Yes.
Did you call any of your friends to meet you there, or did you just go there by yourself?
I went there by myself. Yeah.
When you got there, sir, were a number of your friends there?
Yes.
Who were some of the friends that were there?
Gerson, Rashidi, and Safira.
Now, just for the record, for the court reporter, is Gerson spelled Gerson?
Yes.
And do you know, is his last name Lopes, Lopes?
Yes.
And for the court reporter, is Rashides Raychides, Rashides,
Yes.
with the last name Sanchez, Sanchez?
Yes.
Were Mr. Lopes, Gerson, and Rashides, were they also from Cape Verde?
Yes.
Do you know how long they had been in the country? Approximately.
Gerson, I want to say like about 9 years, something like that.
And were Gerson and Rashides friends of yours?
Yes.
How long had you known them?
Gerson, I know him about, I want to say like more than 15 years.
So you knew him back in Cape Verde?
Back in Cape Verde, yes.
And what about Rashides?
Back in Cape Verde too.
So you'd known him for a number of years, even before coming to the U.S.?
Yes.
I'm just going to place on the screen what's been entered as exhibit number 1. Do you recognize the person in that photograph, sir?
Yes.
Who do you recognize that to be?
Safiro Furtado.
And Safiro Furtado, how did you know him at the time, sir?
We grew up together.
You grew up together?
Yes.
From Priya?
From Pride, yeah.
Priya,
Cape
I'm
Verde.
sorry. So you've known him most of your life?
Yes.
Was he a close friend of yours at this time, in 2012?
Yes.
When you were at the cookout, sir, what was happening at the cookout? Was there alcohol being served, food? What was happening at the cookout?
It was food. There was grilling. Yeah. Alcohol was being served too. Like.
And you indicated that it was Gerson, Rashides, and Safira were at the cookout, correct?
Yeah. They met. Yeah.
What about Danny? At some point, did you have a phone conversation with Danny and to meet up with him later too?
Yes.
Describe generally what the nature of the conversation was.
He just called me. It was asking me what I'm gonna do that night on 2012, July 12th. It was just asking me what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do. It was like, oh, can we go out this night, this and that, just have some fun. That was the conversation.
And as a result of that conversation, was there a plan made for your whole group of friends that you've described to go out later on in Boston?
Yes.
And was there any conversation about how you were going to get there? Was there a car you were going to take?
I didn't have my car had a problem that time, and then Daniel was I'm gonna buy the car. He was going to ask his sister about the car to let him buy her car.
And Mr. Freire, were there any problems at the cookout at all in Dorchester? No issues, no arguments.
It was like family cookouts.
So at some point, did you, Safiro, and Gerson and Rashides all leave the cookout?
Yeah, we was right in front of Safiro's house. We was sitting there, have a conversation, talking before. Yeah.
So the cookout was actually right in front of Safiro's house?
Right in front, yeah.
At some point, did Danny arrive?
Yes.
Did he arrive with his sister's car?
Yes.
What kind of car was that, if you recall?
It was silver BMW 3 Series.
And what happened once Danny arrived? Let me ask you another question. Did you further your plans or firm up your plans to go downtown to a club?
I mean, we just decided to go to club in downtown in front of Safiro's house.
So while you were standing in front of Safira's, you were talking and decided to go to a club?
Yes.
At this point, sir, were you wearing proper club attire, meaning long pants or what you could use to get into a club?
No.
And did you do anything to get into club clothes that you could wear to a club? Did you go somewhere?
Sorry, I didn't get your correct.
Did you at some point go somewhere to change your clothes so
Yes.
you could go out to a club?
Yes, to my house.
You went to your house?
Yeah.
Now, backing up a little bit, Mr. Freire, how much do you think you had to drink at the cookout? And when I say drink, I mean alcohol.
Not that much.
What would you estimate, if anything?
Probably like 2 or 3 Coronas.
And did you make any observations about Rashides, whether or not he was drinking at the barbecue? If you know.
I don't know.
So after you spoke in front of Safira's house and you decided to go to a club, you went to your house to change your clothes, is that correct?
Yes.
Did anybody else need to change their clothes, or did you make any other stops?
If I'm not mistaken, I think they all came to my house except Safiro. We was in front of Safiro's house. He changed it.
He changed in his house.
Yeah. But Gerson and Rashidi, They changed my house.
They changed at your house. And after everyone got changed, what time was this about? Are we talking late into the night? Is it after 10 o'clock at night or 11?
I want to say about like 10 something.
It's after 10?
After 10, yes.
At some point, do you recall stopping at a liquor store to get some more alcohol to drink?
Me and Daniel, yes.
Where did you go?
It was on Dudley Street, Dorchester.
What kind of alcohol did you get? If you recall.
I don't remember what it was.
After picking up some alcohol with Daniel, what did you do next?
Oh, the alcohol, when we purchased the alcohol, it was before we went to my house to change.
Well, that
we
was
came
before
back,
going to
yeah,
the house to
we
change.
came back to Safiro's house.
And when you went back to Safira's house after changing, after getting a little bit more alcohol, did you drink a little bit more alcohol before heading to the club?
Yes.
And do you know how much you had?
I don't remember, but it wasn't that much.
Calling your attention now, sir, sometime just prior to midnight, leading into July 16th, 2012, did the five of you get into the car that Danny brought and head to the club?
Yes.
Where was the club located, if you know?
Downtown Boston.
What part of Boston, downtown, if you know?
It was around Tremont Street.
On Tremont Street. Do you remember the name of the club?
I don't remember the name of the club.
Had you ever been to that club before, prior to the night?
I believe at one time, yeah, before that night.
I
Yeah.
thought you'd been there one time before?
Yeah.
Do you know whether or not any of the friends you were with, the five friends, whether or not they had been there before?
No.
Whose idea was it to go to this particular club?
I mean, we just decided. We was around the corner. We just saw that club. It was a line. We just decided to go to that club.
You just decided to go to that club?
Yeah.
And where did you park?
In the garage.
Where was the garage located? Do you remember the street?
Tremont Street.
Tremont Street. In relation to the club that you went to, where was the garage? Was it close by or far away?
Close by.
And once you got to the parking garage, or let me back up a little bit, as you're coming into the parking garage, were there any issues, any conflicts, any altercations, anything like that?
No.
And once you got into that parking garage, did you park on one of the levels of the parking garage?
Yes.
Do you remember which level?
No.
Leaving the parking garage, any issues at all that you recall?
No.
At that point, did the five of you walk up Tremont Street and go into a particular club?
Yes.
And Mr. Freire, prior to testifying here today, did you have the opportunity to watch a compilation video that shows you and your friends walking on Tremont Street, entering the club, and then leaving the club afterwards?
Yes.
And was that a fair and accurate representation of at least part of your movements or activities the night or the early morning hours of July 16, 2012?
Yes.
At this time, I would seek to introduce a video that is a compilation of exhibit number 29 and I believe 50. Here video compilation of 29 and 56 as the next number exhibit.
Counsel, any objection?
No, sir.
It'll be received.
Exhibit 174.
For the record, sir, I've placed on the screen the beginning of the video that's now been entered as Exhibit 174. Now, I've stopped at the time that's listed as 12:16 and 9 seconds. Again, recognizing that it's a little bit far away, but the vehicle that we see taking the left onto what is Tremont Street from Stewart Street, does that appear to be consistent with the BMW that you and your 4 friends were in on July 16th?
Yeah, the picture kind of looked like blurry, but it looked like the car, yeah. Yes.
And now stopping at a video that appears to be an entrance camera to the Tufts Medical Center garage, time on this camera being listed as 12:14, 12 seconds. You recognize the car in that photograph, sir, or in that video, I'm sorry?
Yes.
And is that the BMW owned by Danny's sister that the 5 of you were in on July 16th, 2012?
Yes.
For the record, I've moved the video now. We're at a time on a camera that's listed as 12:27 and 51 seconds. And for the record, it's 37 seconds into exhibit number 174. Do you recognize the 2 people on the sidewalk here? Again, recognizing it's black and white.
The one with the white shirt is me.
This is you here?
Yes.
Who is the person here next to you?
That's Rashidi.
That's Rashidi?
Yes.
And is this as you're walking out towards the club, sir?
Yes.
Now I've stopped, I've advanced the frame or the video to 12:27 and 57 seconds. The person right here next to you with the what appear to be braids and a light colored shirt, at least on that video. Who is that, sir?
Daniel.
That's Daniel Diabreu?
Yes.
And I don't know if you can tell, I'll advance the video. The person in what appears to be a striped shirt.
That's
collar,
Safira.
Safira. And the person right next to him,
That's Gerson.
Gerson Lopes.
Yes.
Now, sir, as I advance the video, I'm just going to call your attention to the area up here I'm circling where there appear to be 2 sets of legs. I'm going to advance the video. At any point, did you notice 2 people coming across the street as you were walking up towards the club?
No.
Did those people wave to anybody in your party? And when I say party, I mean you and your 4 friends. Did anybody from the street wave to you or to Danny or to any of the others?
Those 2 people?
Yes.
I don't remember.
And for the record, we've advanced now to a different camera angle. We are 53 seconds into exhibit 174. The time on this video camera is 12:28 and 55 seconds. Is that you walking with Danny, starting to go towards a line to get into the club?
Yes.
What we're watching now, Mr. Freire, is that the same footage just from a different angle? View coming into the club?
Yes.
For the record, I've stopped at 12:29 and 9 seconds. And is this you and your group of friends coming into the security ropes leading into the club?
Yes.
And just to clarify again, the first person is Rashidi's. Second person with the cornrows or dreadlocks, that's Daniel, and you're right behind him?
Yes.
And Safira Furtado's behind him, and Gerson's behind. Is that correct?
Yes.
And did you, while you were going into line, was there any conversation, or did you notice in any way the two people I just circled?
No.
I'm just going to stop the video quickly, sir, on what is now labeled as 12:29. We are 2 minutes and 9 seconds into Exhibit 174. The entrance to the club, the person in front, is that, do you recognize who that is?
That's Rashidi.
And the person directly behind him is who, sir?
That's Daniel.
For the record, sir, I just stopped a distance in. We're at 2 minutes and 42 seconds. You appear to have handed something to the security personnel there. Is that correct? Is that your ID?
Yeah, look like, yes.
And he appears to place your ID into some type of hole on the right side of the door. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Do you have any idea why he didn't do that for... well, let me ask you a different question. Were you using a passport or some type of license?
I was using driver license.
You had a driver's license?
Yeah.
And did Daniel and Rashidi's have a passport instead of a driver's license?
I believe so, yeah.
And just stopping at 2 minutes and 58 seconds, this is Daniel, this is you,
Yes.
and this is Safira,
Yes.
and this is Rashidi's. I'm sorry, Gerson.
Yes.
Mr. Freire, did you have to pay a cover that night?
Yes.
What was the cover?
I mean, how much it was a cover?
Yes.
I don't remember how much it was.
It was more than $20?
I think so.
Now, stopping at the video at 12:30 and 38 seconds, the person that's walking in now, did you even notice him when you were paying the cover?
No, I wasn't paying attention on that person.
And the person that follows behind him, did you pay any attention to him?
No.
Did either of those men interact with you at all in the lobby area?
No.
You just handed some money to your friends. Did somebody have a shortage of money for the cover?
Yes.
Who was that, if you know?
That's Gerson.
For the record now, I've stopped the video at 12:31 and 41 seconds when it appears you've already gone downstairs in the club and your two friends, Rashides and Gerson, are following behind you. Can you describe what happened when you got downstairs in the club? Tell us about that night downstairs.
We was just drinking, have fun.
When you first got down, did any of you buy drinks of any sort? In other words, who bought the first round of drinks, if anyone?
That, I don't remember that.
You don't remember? No. Do you remember how many drinks you had while you were downstairs?
If I count how many I had,
Yes, how many drinks did you have downstairs?
I don't remember.
And what happened once you got downstairs? Did you all stick together or did you split up?
I think we was all together. And we might split out from some point, I don't know.
Okay. And while you were downstairs, were there any altercations or arguments or anything like that that you observed?
Not that I know.
At some point, Mr. Freire, did you notice that your friends Daniel and Safiro went off to dance with some girls?
Daniel, yes.
Daniel did?
Yeah.
And where did he go to dance with girls? Was there a kind of dance floor there, dance floor area?
Yeah, it was a dance floor, yes.
And Daniel went off to dance with girls?
Yeah.
And what did you notice Safiro doing?
I don't remember. It was,
Do you recall Safiro talking to a girl a distance away from you and you observing it?
I believe so, yes.
And do you recall at some point indicating that you, Gerson, and Rashides were all together, but Daniel and Safiro went off?
Sustained rephrase.
Do you remember whether or not you split up from any of your friends, and if so, how it was split up?
How we was split up?
Yes.
Objection, Judge. This has been asked.
No, overruled.
Do you remember whether or not you hung out with certain of your friends and whether or not someone other than Danny also walked off?
Objection, Judge. Leading.
Sustained.
Did any of your friends walk off in other words, while you're in the club downstairs, did any of your group go off and kind of do their own thing? Anybody?
Not that I remember. I don't remember that.
And Danny, you indicated that he was dancing with a girl. Was it a girl or girls, if you recall?
What do you mean by that? That's like more than one girl?
Yes.
I only saw him dance one girl.
And where, and really, are you familiar with the layout of the club, sir?
Not really.
Where was he? You said he was on a dance floor of some sort, is that right?
We was around the bar.
Around the bar? And is that where the dance floor was, near the bar?
Like I said, I'm not really familiar with that club. I remember who was around the bar.
And do you recall ever seeing Safiro get talked to by security?
No.
Sir, is your memory exhausted as to what you guys were doing and how you were split up?
Inside the club?
Do you remember exactly where everybody was in the club when you went in there?
I mean, like I said, everyone was around the. I don't remember everyone was around the bar. I'm not really familiar with the inside the club looking, so I can tell you where everyone was.
Okay. While you're inside the club, again, are there any problems at all that you observe?
No,
Did you stay at the club till the end?
yes,
And approximately how much did you have to drink in total at the club, if you remember?
I don't remember.
How did you feel as far as your state of sobriety? Did you feel intoxicated, slightly intoxicated, not intoxicated at all?
Not intoxicated. No.
And at the end of the night, sir, at some point, did you guys decide to leave?
Yes,
Do you know what time it was and how it was that you were determined to leave? Did the club actually close?
around 2 o'clock, something like that.
About 2 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
When the club closed shortly after 2 o'clock, was there anything that the club people did to get you to leave? In other words, were the lights ever turned on or turned off?
I think the lights turned on, something like that. Yeah.
And prior to the lights turning on, did you dance with any girls while you were there?
I don't remember that. I don't recall.
And so you indicated that you didn't remember whether or not Safiro danced with girls and whether or not he split up from you at some point. Is there something that would refresh your memory relative to whether or not you saw Safiro dancing with girls?
About Safira dancing with girls? I don't remember that, but I remember he was talking to some girl or something like that.
Would your
We was just having a conversation.
would a prior statement you gave help refresh your memory as to whether or not you saw Safiro dancing with girls? Would that help refresh your memory if you read something?
No, no.
It would refresh your memory?
If he was dancing with a girl?
Well, if you read a statement you previously gave, sir, would that refresh your memory about whether he was dancing with a girl?
Objection, Judge. This has been asked and answered. Witness has said no.
Overruled.
Sir, is there something that would
Show
refresh?
him the document.
May I approach the witness room? Counsel, page 17 of grand jury exhibits. Just ask you to read that to yourself. For the record, moving on to page 18.
Yes.
Mr. Freire, does that refresh your recollection as to whether or not Safiro had gone off to dance with any girls?
Yes.
And what is your memory now as to whether or not Safiro had gone off to dance with any girls? What is your memory now as to Safiro and what he did?
Yeah, talked to this girl, and I remember that girl went somewhere. She said she was going to come back.
Okay, so Safiro had gone off to talk to a girl,
Yes.
and Danny was dancing with a girl who previously testified, correct?
Yes.
Now, again, you testified you get to the point where the club closes and you leave, is that correct?
Yes.
Had anybody in your group indicated there was any problem at all that night?
No.
Did you witness any problems, any fights, arguments, anything like that?
No.
When you left the club, sir, did the group of you leave the club together or separate?
From inside the club to outside,
Yes.
I believe it was all together.
For the record, Mr. Freire, I'm going to continue to play what's been entered as exhibit number 174. And for the record, we are now at 2 o'clock, 2:10 and 50 seconds, according the clock on the camera. The person in the white who just came up the stairs, who is that, sir?
That was me.
The person directly behind you in a collared shirt, if you can tell.
Sorry, I didn't see. Oh, that's Safiro.
Safiro's right behind you.
Yes.
The person coming out now.
That's Rashidi.
And the person who was just handed something is who?
Garrison.
Now you just come back in for a moment. We're at 4 minutes and 57 seconds. Why are you coming back into the club?
I wasn't supposed to bring the drink outside. I had to put a cup inside.
Okay. So security told you to bring it back inside.
Yeah.
Now we've advanced to the time on the cameras 2:10 and 43 seconds. The time on the video 5 minutes and 45 seconds of Exhibit 174. The person in the white shirt here, is that you?
Yes.
The person you're speaking to is who, sir? If you can tell.
That's Garrison.
At this point, Mr. Freire, what was the plan once you all left, the five of you? If there was one.
I don't think it was no plan.
So you just kind of hang out and get to decide what to do afterwards?
Yes.
And the person you're speaking to with the braids, is that Daniel?
Yes.
And what we see here going on now, sir, outside on the sidewalk, Exhibit 174, the video, is anything happening now? Are there any arguments, any disputes that you've observed, anything like that?
No.
At this point, sir, you're speaking to a man in a tank top. Who was he, if you recall? Not name, but how did you know him? Did you know him from your job?
Yeah, that was the guy. When I was working at the Lexus dealer, purchased this Lexus IS. I believe it was IS 250, something like that.
So you sold him a car? You sold him a car?
No, I didn't sell the car. I don't sell the car.
Okay.
I was working at the dealer when he came to purchase. So I just met him over there. So that night I saw him. So I just went to talk to him.
And the people you're talking to now, Mr. Freire, do you remember anything about that or who those people were? Or how you knew them?
Those right there?
Yes.
No, I can't even see the face.
And the person in the braids that we see here walking towards you, is that Daniel?
Yes.
The person in the green shirt with Daniel, is that Rashidi, sir? This person here?
Yes.